What's your take on Norman and Sir's relationship? Because I watched it and I thought it's a bit of a love story, really, isn't it?
I don't think it's my job to tell the audience what the play's about. They should watch it. I can just promise you that this is the best representation of what it's like to act under an extremis, and there's very, very accurate representation of people's emotions and fears and relationships. So what an audience chooses to take out of it as the high point for them is up to them. But the relationship between an actor and the person who's in the dressing room with them, dressing them, taking care of them, making sure they get onto the stage in the right costume and looking right, is a complicated relationship and difficult to define it. But here it is, all spread out in front of you in this show.
Did you take any inspiration from your own experiences of dressers or other actors?
Well, I don't know about inspiration, but observation, yes, of course. I've had many dressers in my time. You can manage without a dresser. But Sir can't. Sir needs him, just as King Lear needs the fool, and that's the parallel story that's going on. That's the play they're trying to get on. Will the show go on? That's the big question behind tonight's events. So, yes. But you know, when a play is as well written as this, you don't have to start delving into your own experience and bringing in relevant stuff. It's all so believable. You really just have to say the words. And what words? My goodness. It's a very wordy play. And that's the point worth considering. This is a play written for the theatre, put on television. It's not a film. Film is about looking at things. They may be called talkies, but they're really movies. Moving, we used to call it, we're going to the pictures. In a theatre, and sitting at home at television, well, you're called viewers, but you're really an audience, audio, listen. And behind this story is William Shakespeare. That's the play, it's a play of his they're trying to put on. William Shakespeare, the greatest wordsmith who ever lived. Sir is a great talker. The dresser is a great talker, different sort of talk. And that fits very well on television because television is about talking, really. You can watch the news on television without watching, actually. You can listen to it. So I'm very happy that this very full version of the text is put on television, and I hope it might be that other plays too might find their way onto television, as they used to. It used to be commonplace to be able to see a play on television. Now, of course, you can write a play for television and it will belong on television. You can show a film on television and it works. But why not also put plays on television? I think it would be exciting if the BBC found it in its heart and in its purse to put on more stuff, more plays. What about all the plays by Bernard Shaw? What about all the plays by J.B. Priestley? What about all the plays by Anton Chekhov? They would look wonderful. What about all the plays by William Shakespeare? They all could work wonderfully on television and entertain people. And if the BBC is not going to do it, who will?
What was it like to finally get to work with Anthony Hopkins?
Oh, it was bliss. That's the reason I did it, or wanted to do it so much. It was to just be in his presence, and it's a great thrill watching a great actor at work. I know that having worked with Martin Freeman on The Hobbit, with Meryl Streep in a film, or with Judi Dench. You get closer to them than any audience, and they encourage the best out of you, perhaps. So, meeting Anthony at long last, I've known him ever so slightly, but we've never worked together, and this was an ideal way, because it was in a world that we both knew and have a great affection for. And we had a lot of laughs. Not a cross word, why would we? And yes, I think all that's evident on the screen.